beating on the top and the bottom line, raising its full-year forecast. Joining us now, first on CNBC, Stryker CEO Kevin Lobo. We're definitely going to talk about the results, but first we got to look at this cool thing you brought us. We've had what medical device makers bring in. We've had people bring in a saw that doesn't hurt, it gets to the bone but doesn't hurt the flesh. We've had all kinds of stuff, and that is what? That is a
automatic CPR device.
An automatic CPR device. So, for those of us that can fit in there, you actually lay on the bottom part, and then I guess clamp it over the top, and then that thing that looks like a large suction cup actually...
It performs automatic CPR, so you don't have to do it manually, which is very exhausting. And it can even do it while you're being moved downstairs or even in an ambulance.
And this is part of innovation and continuing to design medical devices that for the future. Who should have one of these? How many?
So every medical department, emergency medical department, fire stations, they should all have this device.
They don't know. You have zero penetration, don't you?
No, we have. It's been around for about 15 years.
But that's the latest.
That's the latest version, latest iteration. That's the third version.
And it could be used
device.
With a defibrillator.
Correct. First, you could do a defibrillator to shock the patient.
Most places have defibrillators.
Correct.
Is it 90% or so?
Absolutely. Yeah. So you'll see that in all the ambulances, but this is a new device.
Health clubs everywhere.
Which the emergency medical technicians love because they don't have to actually do the CPR. Yeah. It does it very precisely. Their hands are free. If they're being in an ambulance themselves, they can actually put a seatbelt on. Today they have to stand and do this, which is a hazard for emergency medical technicians. So all the fire stations...
Not to mention, you get exhausted doing this.
Correct.
And this can go for a couple of hours, it's gone?
The longest has been about a couple of hours, but on average it's maybe 35 minutes. But it provides precise, consistent delivery of CPR.
Right. So sales up 10% or so, 9.7 organic, sales up 7%. Was currency involved?
Yeah, we had a 2.5% benefit of currency.
Benefit.
But overall, it was a great quarter for Stryker.
$1.68 was in line with the...
It was above. We beat by 8 cents.
Beat by 8 cents.
13.5% increase in adjusted EPS. This was our 20th consecutive quarter of growing organic sales greater than 5%. So we've had a great run of consistent high growth.
Did tax reform, does it mean anything to you?
For us, it's actually a modest headwind because we have a very good, efficient global tax rate, but we are able to bring back our cash from the U.S., which is a huge advantage.
How much you have?
So we had about $3 billion of cash.
You're kidding? Yeah.
Outside the United States.
Stryker?
Yes, absolutely. We're a $12.5 billion company, and we generate a tremendous amount of cash.
And what are you going to do with that?
Well, our first priority is M&A. So we bought 40 companies over the past 5 years, and that's our first priority of cash. Our dividend, we increased roughly in line with EPS, and then we have a little bit of share buybacks. But share buybacks for Stryker is very small, because we're a growth company. We need to acquire companies. This was an acquisition we did 2 years ago, this CPR device.
How's the government treating you otherwise in terms of medical device tax, Obamacare, things like that?
So we have a 2-year suspension of the medical device excise tax, which is a tax on sales. That's another 2-year extension. We'd like to have full repeal, but having this suspension of the tax certainly is beneficial. We spend a significant amount of R&D. We spend about 6.5% of our sales in research and development, and that's how we develop these types of devices.
You probably have a pretty big group to lobby to CMS for reimbursement and things like that?
Yeah, Stryker typically lobbies through our trade association, which is called AdvaMed. That as a group of medical device makers, we try to lobby together versus doing individual lobbying on a company-by-company basis.
What is plateaued in Stryker's portfolio of business?
Frankly,
Nothing?
all of our businesses are doing great.
Really?
The spine business is the only one that's a little bit flat. The whole overall market is flat. Every one of our businesses is growing above the market and growing pretty consistently, in spite of the fact that our prices are actually going down every year, about 1 to 1.5%. So we're posting 7+% growth in spite of prices going down.
And how many products do you have, do you think?
We have over 50,000 products. So we are a very broadly based medical device company.
50,000.
This is part of our med-surg division. So many people think of Stryker as an orthopedic company,
right? A
hip and knee company. That's actually less than 25% of our
sales.
sales.
Are you the leader now in that, or are you still?
In this, yeah, we were actually.
What about hip and implant?
Hip and knee, we're absolutely one of the leaders in that.
One of the leaders, yeah.
There are a couple of other big companies as well.
And we're moving minimally invasive still? That's
correct. So we are the ones with robotic-assisted surgery. We're the only company with that. So that's why we're growing much faster than the market, is we're bringing innovations with 3D printed implants, which obviate the need for bone cement in the procedure, as well as robotic-assisted surgery for total hip procedures as well as total knee procedures. And that's been an engine of our growth.
Well, thanks for bringing it in. Thanks for being on set with us.
Thank you very much.